we went into prison on several occasions to interview Jorge Riviala, the hitman, who's in Cocaine Cowboys. And I think whenever you go into that type of situation, I never felt in danger there, but like one of the first things that the Department of Corrections makes you sign is a liability waiver, which basically says we have a policy where we don't negotiate in the event of a riot or if you're held hostage. And so you just need to sort of acknowledge that policy and hold them harmless from what might happen to you. So as soon as you're kind of faced with that possibility, I think it gets you thinking. I didn't mention that to my mom, when I said, "Oh, we're going to prison to interview this hitman." But I never felt in danger there. But like, I guess the threat kind of exists. The Department of Corrections has always been very helpful and very transparent with us. Honestly, I think when we were in Gainesville on the first documentary, we're kind of poking into Greek life. That was one of the situations where I probably felt most kind of in danger. Everything else is kind of, like I said, our genre is kind of pop docs is really synthesis, where we take pre-existing stories and reporting and kind of put it together into some sort of context or thesis, and try to set out to prove the thesis based on all of this other research and journalism. So like I feel like a lot of what we do is kind of not old news per se, but it's historical. So it's like the threat isn't necessarily as real. We're now doing a contemporary series where every time we're doing something more contemporary, I feel a little bit, obviously, a greater threat, because there are people where, with freedom at stake or liberty at stake, and so they might actually have an incentive to stop you from poking around or investigating something. So I think we're starting to do more of that. So that's where I really feel, in the case of Raw Deal, when we were there, the story was only a year old. We're kind of, picking at fresh wounds, and some of the stuff we're doing now in this new series, Sunny Place for Shady People, that we're doing, some of it's historical, some of it's more recent. We're doing the Bal Harbour money laundering cops, in the Bal Harbour Police Department, Thomas Hunker. When you're doing, and I'm sure, investigative journalists, I'm sure that investigative journalists feel this all the time. That's the greater threat. I've never particularly felt in danger. I went to Belize for a few weeks on this John McAfee mini-series that we're doing. There was a couple hairy incidents there, but nothing really where I feel that our lives are in danger as a result of working on this. And if I did, I would say it was worth it, because it was just like you take on these projects sort of understanding that there might very well be risks involved, and you believe enough in the story to invest a year plus of your life. I mean, Jesus, it's 10 years later, we're talking about Cocaine Cowboys. You know what I mean? So it becomes so much a part of your life that if you're not kind of willing to take the risk, then it's not really, you're in the wrong line of work.